setting is probably one of the most unique things about the Sedona Forum. I go to quite a few of these every year, and this is by far the most breathtaking. It's not hard to convince people to come to Sedona any time of year, especially right now. I think also the strong focus on, first we have a diverse array of issues, but it's the bipartisanship that is so important to us, making sure that all sides are represented, but also that those sides that are represented are rooted in character-driven leadership. And the idea of humanity, human rights, human dignity animates everything we do as well. So it's unique, it's interesting, and it should be timeless, and we're going to do everything we can to keep it that way. In fact, informality is enforced in that, I am not wearing a tie. This is about as dressed up as anybody is here, and that's by design. We want people to be relaxed, and we also want our speakers, whoever they are, to feel that they're in a more intimate and friendly setting where we can get to the root of the issues instead of dancing around them. It's important to us. Also, distinct to the Sedona Forum is, I will use the word isolation, but it's not meant in a negative context, that people are forced to interact with each other because it's a small, intimate venue and there's nowhere else to go. You are kind of cloistered here throughout the duration of the event, but that's also by design. We want to make sure that people have meaningful interactions because we want them to walk away with action, finding a way to put what they've learned or what they've experienced here into meaningful use. When you are operating and negotiating in the world, it's easy to lose your values. When you don't root yourself in very specific core principles, then you have a tendency to be a little too relativistic. Relativism has its place, but when it comes to the core issues of the United States, when it comes to who we are and how we want to see the world reflected in that, if you don't hold on to the ideas of character-driven leadership, of doing the right thing because it's the right thing to do, not just because no one's looking, but because often everyone's looking. So if you keep that as a practice, not only does it make your work, I would say, more meaningful, but it makes sure that you don't stray from what is the right thing to do. My chosen career, naval aviation, is a bit of a family business. My great-grandfather was a Navy pilot, my dad was a Navy pilot, I was a Navy pilot. However, and I didn't articulate this to him at the time, I wanted to fly helicopters because combat search and rescue would have been the mission that when my dad was shot down, somebody would have come to pick him up. Nobody was there for that due to a lot of circumstances, but I wanted to be the one in the position to rescue the downed aviator because I never wanted somebody to experience what he did. So he was pretty mad because when he got into naval aviation, being a helicopter pilot was seen as a bit of a black mark on your reputation. Now, he eventually came around to it, and I don't know if it was a compromise or if it was just realizing that, hey, it was a pretty interesting thing to do, and definitely me trying to strike out on my own. But he was quite mad about it for a while. So I think that's, I treasure that memory just because of that back and forth. I would say the world saw his warmth, but not the same way we did as kids. And the one thing that truly sticks out to me, because you'll have 100 people in here that will tell you stories about foreign policy or about even his desire for character-driven leadership or virtue, it was his appreciation of natural beauty that is really, I mean, you can find it in his books, but it's not something that people pay much attention to. But I think that comes from a great place of humanity. He appreciated nature because he appreciated the human soul, and was always awestruck. Even if he had seen the Sedona 100,000 times, he was always awestruck every time he saw it. So I would say that that's something many didn't know, and I would love to emphasize. He would be overjoyed to see it. He would be upset that he couldn't be in the middle of it, shaking hands, motivating people, yelling at people, and trying to coerce his colleagues to either his point of view or to pass his piece of legislation. But I think he'd be proud to see what it's become. Because as much as it was when he was still here, I think it's surpassed even that as we go forward. Become a little bigger, a little more professionalized. It's still just as intimate, just as interesting, but a slightly greater product. So I think he'd be very proud to see it. Lucky, extremely lucky, just to be able to take part in it. For instance, Admiral Paparo spoke last night, and not only is it easy to see him as an incredibly brilliant individual that has a handle on every issue, but he's able to articulate them in a way that not only somebody, my level of intelligence can understand, but it makes it meaningful, and it makes it something that gives a reason why we should care. So I'm grateful because every time I am at the Sedona Forum, I always walk away having learned something, and I always walk away better as a person because of having engaged with these issues. Or, last year I gave an award to Alexeya Navalny. Her father was murdered by the Putin regime. You don't have that level of meaning almost anywhere else. We gave that same award to a Venezuelan democracy activist who is in hiding in fear of her life and couldn't make it, so her daughter had to accept the award on her behalf. I don't find that level of meaning almost anywhere else, and it's because of that that I walk away better. I see us expanding our scope of issues. My own personal bias wants to have more international involvement. I'd especially like involvement from Asia, Japan, Korea, Singapore, even Australia, Oceania, but also Africa. I would sincerely like to see politicians from South Africa, Zambia, Sudan, from the Sahel, Nigeria. I would like to see representation a little bit outside of we got Eastern Europe on lock, and that does not diminish its importance at all, but I would like to see a broader focus on the international side, India as well. So I would also like to see the programming continue to grow, and I would like to see the 2 awards we give are incredible, but I think that it would be important to start to include an award for journalism as well, as journalism as a profession is vital to human rights, but is also something that was very close to the old man's heart. That journalism, he believed in the power of journalism and mass media as a tool for good. So that if I had my druthers, that's what I would be doing.